Good morning, everyone. Commissioner Penny, we are ready to go. Good morning, everyone. All set.
Thank you very much. All right, this April 1, 2026 regular telephonic meeting of the Connecticut State Elections Enforcement Commission is called to order. My name is Steve Penny. I chair the commission, and I'd like to welcome you to today's meeting. This meeting is being conducted virtually in accordance with the Freedom of Information Act, which authorizes public agencies to conduct meetings in this format. The meeting is being recorded for on-demand viewing and will be available for at least 45 days. Because of the virtual format of this meeting, there are some special rules and procedures that I need to cover before we begin. First, I ask all participants to mute your device when you're not speaking. Second, all speakers must make a good faith effort to state the speaker's name and title at the outset of each occasion that such speaker participates in the meeting. Third, all votes must be taken by roll call unless the vote is unanimous. With that said, I'll ask the other commissioners and the executive director to introduce themselves, please.
Commissioner Shannon Berquist.
Greg Pietson, Commissioner.
Commissioner Sonia Varela, sorry.
And Ryan Burns, Executive Director and General Counsel.
Thank you very much. All right, the first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the meeting of March 18, 2026. Are there any additions or corrections to be made to those minutes? None appearing. Is there a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved, Pietson.
Sorry, Chairman, I did have a correction I did offer earlier in the meeting to be added, and with that, I could vote.
And
Mr. Chairman, it's just a correction of a typo on page 1, removal of a straight T.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. So unless there's objection, I'll accept the motion as to approve the minutes as corrected. And it has been seconded. Are there any additions or corrections or any further comments? All right. None appearing. Those in favor of the motion will raise their hands and or say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? One abstention. All right. So the motion carries with 3 voting in favor, none opposed, 1 abstention, and that would be Commissioner Pietsu. Next item on the agenda is the administrative reports, and we'll ask the Executive Director and General Counsel, Ryan Burns, to respond. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As we have our quarterly in-person meeting next week, I'm going to reserve most of my report for that meeting. The most important development that's happened since our last meeting is the United States Department of Justice was successful in their prosecution of Dennis Bradley concerning a case that was initially investigated by our office concerning misrepresentations in order to receive public grant from the Citizens Election Program. As the case has not gone through sentencing, I want to be cautious about any comments about the substance of the case, but I do want to extend the Commission's, deep gratitude to the Department of Justice, the United States Attorney's Office for the District of Connecticut, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation for their efforts and over many years to prosecute this case. I also want to recognize all the hard work of the staff over many years that have done this, both current and former. In particular, I want to recognize Richard Bramande and Sherry Lynn Legue, who had to go and testify in that case. In the case of Sherry Lynn, over several days and perhaps over several years. It was a team effort, but successful, and I think is important for protection of both the public fisc and the Citizens Election Program. So deep appreciation for that.
Thank you, and I would like to second those remarks. This case has been pending for a very long time. It may predate all of the other commissioners who are with us tonight. I'm not absolutely sure of that, but I think it might. It's been going on for a long time and has, as the Executive Director indicated, required intensive labor on the part of the staff here at the SEEC. So thank you all. Anything else, Ryan?
Not today, unless there's any questions regarding operations. Otherwise, we can reserve that conversation for next week.
All right, are there any questions or comments for the Executive Director? None appearing. We will proceed to the next item on the agenda, which is audit reports. Director Menier.
Thank you. Good morning. For the record, Salman Munir, Director of Audit and Disclosure. I have total 10 audit reports today. 2 are from 2022 post-election and 8 are from 2024 post-election. So number 1 is Ava for Senate. Number 2, Dyer for House. Number 3, Aram Ayalon for state representative. Number 4, PC 108. Number 5, Coley for Connecticut 2024. Number 6, Farmier for Change 24. Number 7 is Friends of Bob Dove. Number 8, Highland for the 90th. Number 9, Robertson for State Senate. And the last one, number 10, is Mammoth One 2024. I'm requesting the commission to make these reports final today.
All right, are there any comments or questions for the director? Yes. Commissioner Pietzo.
I'm going to vote in favor to move this along, but I just want to note that on one of these, the committee treasurer, who I don't have any reason to doubt is doing their best, their response was that they could not provide secondary information because a campaign consultant made it the consultant's policy not to disclose secondary payee information. And I'm not going to belabor the point, but that is a position that's untenable with the law and with our obligation to protect the public fisc in terms of knowing how campaign dollars are being spent. And moreover, the entire purpose of campaign finance disclosure is so that the public can understand how campaign dollars are being spent. So I'm going to vote in favor, holding my nose on that. But I can't let this vote go by without raising that publicly. That if that position continues to metastasize, that's something that is going to have to be done about that, hopefully legislatively. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and I will say that I concur in those remarks. I was concerned about several of the cases in that regard. I did, however, find it very positive that we are starting to give notice that we're not going to accept some of these kinds of reports going forward. And we are preparing regulations that would permit them to escape disclosure of where public monies have gone, as they have done now for altogether too long. The only other thing I wanted to, let's see if I can find my notes on this. Because it was some other language. Oh, I guess, yeah, the language where we're putting them on notice, I thought was very important. And I guess I'll leave it at that. I too will be voting to support any motion that's made in that regard. Any other questions or comments? All right, none appearing. Is there a motion to accept the audit and make final the audit reports for those 10 committees that have been read into the record by the director?
So moved, Pietza.
Second, Berquist.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? None appearing. Those in favor of the motion will raise their hands and or say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? None appearing. The motion carries with 4 voting in favor, none opposed, no abstentions. Next item on the agenda requires that we go into executive session. Is there a move to do so?
Yes, so moved, Pietza.
It's
Second,
moved.
Berquist.
It's moved and seconded. Those in favor of the motion will raise their hands and or say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? None appearing. We will go into executive session. And Irene.
Mr. Chairman, we are now in the public session. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so the commission has just concluded its discussion on some executive session matters. No decisions were made. We will now be reviewing the same material and we will be making decisions publicly. So the first item on this portion of the agenda is necessary to investigate determinations. And Attorney Smith, that would be you. You're muted, Will.
I apologize. Hello, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Attorney William Smith for the Commission. At this time, pursuant to Commission statutes, I'm going to ask that the Commission on the record find it necessary to further investigate files number 2026-009, file number 2026-010, file number 2026-011, which Commission staff has docketed and provided to the commission for review.
All right. I'm going to recuse myself on one of these matters, so I think probably the best way to proceed is for me to solicit a motion with respect to file number 2026-009, which is the one where I will not be participating, and then the other two I will be. So is there a motion with respect to file number 2026-009 to accept the recommendation of council and find that it is necessary to engage in an investigation?
So moved, Pietzi.
Second, Request.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, those in favor of the motion will raise their hands and or say aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstentions, I abstain, and so the motion carries with 3 voting in favor, none opposed, and 1 abstention, myself. All right, is there a motion to approve the recommendations of council with respect to files numbers 2026-10 and 2026-11?
So moved, Pietzi.
Second, Request.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? None appearing. Those in favor of the motion will raise their hands and or say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? None appearing. The motion carries with 4 voting in favor, none opposed, no abstentions. All right, next item on the agenda, file numbers 2025-119, and that would be Attorney Borelli.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. For the Commission, Attorney Mario Borelli. This matter relates to a referral from the Democratic Registrar of Voters from the town of New Fairfield. The referral alleged that a voter, Jennifer Pappas, failed to leave the polling location at New Fairfield in the November 2025 municipal election and instead remained at the polling location without reason for 30 minutes. We are recommending that the Commission enter a motion that it has reason to believe that the respondent has violated General Statutes 9-236 sub D and 9-261 sub E by failing to leave the polling place after voting in the November 2025 election, and also that a hearing officer be appointed and notice of public hearing issued.
All right. Are there any questions or comments on this matter? All right, then, with respect to file number 2025-119, it is the recommendation of council that the commission make a finding that there's reason to believe a violation of the statutes and proceed accordingly. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved, Pietzi.
Second, Request.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? None appearing. Those in favor of the motion will raise their hands and or say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Pietzi will
One
abstain.
Okay, so the motion carries with 3 voting in favor, none opposed, 1 abstention, Attorney Pietzu. And I will appoint Attorney Pietzu to be the hearing officer in this matter should it proceed further. Item 3 on this agenda, files numbers 2025-069, 2025-070, and 2025-071. Attorney Ross, please.
Attorney Ross, you're muted and your camera's off.
I just hear from Johnny's got a quick IT issue, so bear with him 1 second. Hey, Mr. Chairman, Attorney Ross is getting helped out by IT if you want to pass that matter for the time being.
All right. Without objection, I will do so. Although, let's see, he's next on item 4, which I think was being continued, was it not? Item 4 was continued for today. Let me go back. Let me go find it.
I believe it was too. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, so item 4 is continued. Item 5 is also Attorney Ross, so we'll pass that for the time being. Item 6 is also Attorney Ross, although that matter is continued. Item 7 is continued. Item 8, Attorney Jaslowicki.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Attorney Zach Jaslowicki for the commission. This is files number 2025-032 and 2025-036. Before you is an agreement containing a consent order. These matters were referrals alleging double voting in a budget referendum. On June 3rd, 2025, Regional School District 20, which is comprised of the towns of Goshen, Litchfield, Morris, and Warren, held a budget referendum. The evidence shows that Respondent Johnson voted in the Region 20 referendum on June 3rd in Goshen and then again in Litchfield later that evening. Similarly, Respondent Boudoin voted in the Region 20 referendum in Litchfield in the afternoon and then again in Goshen later that evening. And these actions amounted to each respondent voting twice in the same referendum. Based upon CVRS records, both respondents are registered to vote in Northfield, village of Litchfield, and property records revealed that both respondents are also co-owners of a property in Goshen. The commission can thus find that both respondents voted twice in the June 3rd, 2025 Regional School District referendum, again, once in Litchfield, once in Goshen. So based upon the evidence that the respondents believed, albeit incorrectly, that they owned property in multiple towns within Region 20, that they were permitted to vote in both towns. They also believed the budget needed to pass in each individual town, which was incorrect. And so while they were mistaken, the commission can find that they did not possess the fraudulent intent to double vote as to be a violation of General Statutes 9-360. They did, however, improperly vote in this referendum by voting twice when they were not legally qualified to do so. The commission concludes that ordering Boudon and Johnson to henceforth strictly comply with 9-7B A2C and to each pay a civil penalty in the amount of $250 is sufficient to ensure immediate and continued compliance. An agreement to that effect is before you and signed, and we ask that the commission adopt it.
All right, are there any questions or comments for council? None appearing with respect to files numbers 2025-032 and 2025-036. It is the recommendation of council that the matter be resolved by the issuance of a henceforth order affecting both respondents and a $250 penalty from each respondent to be paid within 10 days at today's date. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved, Pietzi.
Second, Berquist.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Not appearing, those in favor of the motion will raise their hands and or say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Not appearing, the motion carries with 4 voting in favor, none opposed, no abstentions. Item 9 on the agenda is off. Item 10 on the agenda, Attorney Bitar.
Commissioners, her computer shut off unexpectedly and it's rebooting right now, so she's in the middle of rebooting.
So she's
I'm sorry.
no
She's
better
back.
off than Johnny Ross. Oh, there he is. He's better off.
Johnny got a
have,
promotion.
No. We still got our wonderful executive director off to the side. He was kind enough to let me use his computer. Staff Attorney Johnny Ross for the commission. If you want to, Mr. Chairman, we can go back to item number 3 on the agenda.
Please, and this is with respect to files numbers 2025-069, 2025-070, and 2025-071. Attorney Ross, please.
Thank you. Again, Staff Attorney Ross for the commission. Before the commission today is a notice of cases closure. The respondents in this matter are John Allen and a Dan Lint. Respondent Allen was the treasurer for the Lint for Eastern Committee, and respondent Dan Lint was the candidate for said candidate committee. The file number 2025-069 alleges that the Lint for Eastern Candidate Committee distributed an online invitation for a fundraiser without the appropriate attribution
or disclaimer in violation of 9-621. SEEC file 2025-070 alleges that the Lent for Easton committee failed to place a appropriate attribution or disclaimer on a campaign video that was posted on the Eastern RTC's Facebook page. That is the Eastern Republican Town Committee, by the way. The complaint in 2025-071 alleges that the Eastern RTC failed to place an appropriate attribution or disclaimer on the video promoting the candidacy of Dan Lent posted on their Facebook page. What we know from the facts is that on July 3rd, 2025, the Lent for Eastern Committee was formed. They registered with the town clerk. On or before August 25th, 2025, the Lent for Eastern Committee distributed an online invitation for a fundraiser dinner. That dinner did not have the required paid for and approved by language of 9-621. However, Lent for Eastern appeared twice on the invitation. At the bottom of the invitation, it noted Dan Lent for First Selectman Protecting What Makes Eastern Home on September 6, 2025. A campaign video was posted to the Eastern RTC's Facebook page. That was 2 minutes and 25 seconds in duration. It did show respondent Lent's name and likeness and did end with the messaging Dan Lent for First Selectman Protecting What Makes Eastern Home, Lent for Eastern, and only briefly reference Christy Sopofith or Skyvith. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. It did not show her image. And later on, after being contacted by the investigation, the Eastern RTC did add a disclaimer on top of the video for respondent Lent. From a legal standpoint, the video did promote respondent Lent. You saw not only his image, but it did end with his campaign slogan there. However, the Eastern RTC posting the video for respondent Lent was a permissible organizational expenditure pursuant to General Statutes 9-601, paren 25, and by definition, not a contribution pursuant to General Statute Section 9-601A, paren B, paren 16. More importantly, the Eastern RTC's Facebook page clearly had language on there showing that that Facebook page belonged to them. In both the online fundraiser invitation as well as the video at issue, given the language on those two things, it clearly shows that respondent Lent in his campaign was behind the messaging. Therefore, we have substantial compliance with 9-621. Thus, it is the recommendation of council that the commission dismiss all three of these matters and issue the notice of case closure. The scrivener's errors will be fixed before the final error goes out. So I would ask that these matters are dismissed and that the commission issues the notice of case closure. Thank you.
All right, are there any questions or comments for council? None appearing with respect to files numbers 2025-069, 2025-070, and 2025-071. It is the recommendation of council that the complaints in the matter be dismissed and that a notice of case closure issue. Is it moved?
So move Pietzu.
Second Berquist.
It's moved and seconded. Any discussion? None appearing, those in favor of the motion will raise their hands and or say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? None appearing, the motion carries with 4 voting in favor, none opposed, no abstentions. Item 4 on the agenda has been continued. Item 5, files numbers 2025-078A and 2025-097A. Attorney Ross.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, Cyber Attorney Ross for the commission here. Before the commission today is a notice of cases closure for respondent Martin. It is alleged in the complaints that on September 3rd, 2025, that a respondent, McKinney, drove to the parking lot of the Griswold Town Hall, which was designated as a was designated as a polling place, that he delivered pizzas to polling workers. And it's further alleged as it relates to Respondent Martin, who was the register of voter at the time, that she assisted Respondent McKinney, who was the second selectman and a candidate on the ballot, in violating General Statutes 9-163 AA paren H paren 1 by sending out a poll worker to help collect those pizza, and it's further alleged that Respondent Martin violated that same provision by being within the 75-foot radius of the entrance to the polling place, in this case, Griswold Town Hall. There isn't any evidence that Respondent Martin assisted McKinney with that pizza delivery. Respondent Martin denies said allegation. More importantly, from a legal standpoint, pursuant to General Statutes 9-163 AA paren H paren 2, she was allowed as a register of voter to be inside of Griswold Town Hall to perform her duties. And then additionally, she didn't violate 9-163 AA paren H paren 1 because pursuant to the exception, which is stated in 9-163 AA paren H paren 3, she was allowed to be within 75 feet of the entrance of Griswold Town Hall to perform her duty as a register of voter. There isn't any evidence that she was there longer than what was necessary, and again, wasn't doing any of the activities prohibited under H1. And she did tell us that she was again there at the polls on September 3rd in order to relieve her deputy and close the polling location. Based on that, I would ask that these complaints are dismissed and the commission issues a notice of cases closure. Thank you.
All right, Attorney Ross, just for my own clarification, are you proposing that we dismiss the complaints as to both of the respondents,
No,
Matos and Wasilek, or only Wasilek?
yeah, it's only Respondent Martin. So there's a notice of case closure. It's prepared specifically for that respondent. It's just in understanding the facts. I had to sort of explain what he did to get the allegations clear as it relates to Respondent Martin.
Okay. Were there charges in both of these files that would impact Respondent Martin? So are we
so the
closing
proposal
cases in both instances as to Respondent Martin, or
Yes,
just one
so-
of those instances?
Oh, so the notice of case closure is for 2025-07A and 2025-097A for
That is my
Respondent Martin.
question.
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, any questions or comments for council? All right, none appearing. With respect to files numbers 2025-078A and 2025-097A, it is the recommendation of council that both cases be closed as to Respondent Cynthia Martin. Is it moved?
So moved, Pietzi.
Second, Berquist.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? None appearing. Those in favor of the motion will raise their hands and or say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? None appearing. The motion carries with 4 voting in favor, none opposed, no abstentions. Item 6 on the agenda, Attorney Ross. We continued that one?
Yes.
All right, so that's continued. And we have continued item 7. And so file 8, Attorney Jaslowicki.
Did we act on that one, Steve, already?
Well, that's what I'm asking myself. I think we did.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
we did.
it was adopted.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Chairman.
All right. And let's see. 9 is off. 10 we've dealt with. And there's no action required by the commission on 11. So unless I'm mistaken, I believe that, well, I'm sorry. Marianne Bitar, Attorney Bitar.
Yes. Chairman,
Number
we have the declaratory ruling.
Yep.
Good morning, commissioners. For the record, this is Marian Bitar, compliance attorney. Before you is a declaratory ruling 2026-01, arising from a petition submitted on October 29th, 2025 by Attorney Jeffrey Zajewski, requesting guidance on the application of Public Act 25-28. The question presented is whether a U.S. citizen and Connecticut resident employed as an in-house lobbyist by a U.S. subsidiary of a foreign-owned corporation is an agent of a foreign principal solely due to the ownership relationship and therefore prohibited from making personal campaign contributions. The proposed ruling concludes that they are not consistent with the statutory framework and Federal Foreign Agents Registration Act. The analysis finds that an agency relationship requires more than foreign ownership. It requires that the individual political or lobbying activities be conducted at the directions, request, or control of the foreign principal. Based on the facts presented, the U.S. subsidiary operates independently with domestic management, a domestically determined lobbying agenda, and no directions from the foreign parent. Accordingly, the individual does not qualify as an agent of a foreign principal under these circumstances. The ruling further emphasized that this conclusion is limited to the specific facts presented and may change where evidence of foreign directions or control exists. Council recommends that the Commission adopt and issue Declaratory Ruling 2026-01 as a final declaratory ruling. I'm happy to answer any question.
Any questions or comments for council? All right, you've heard a requested motion. Is there a motion to that effect?
Sure. Pietsu moves that pursuant to General Statute, Section 4-176E, and Regulations of Connecticut State Agencies, Section 9-7B-65C, it is hereby resolved and ordered that Declaratory Ruling 2026-01, entitled, quote, "The Application of Public Act 24-26 to Personal Campaign Contributions by In-House Lobbyists of U.S. Subsidiaries of Foreign Corporations," end quotes, concerning the petition received by the Commission on October 29th, 2025, from Attorney Jeffrey Zajewski, is hereby adopted and issued as a final declaratory ruling of the Commission.
All right, you've heard the motion to adopt the declaratory ruling of the Commission. Is there a second?
Second, Berquist.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? None appearing. Those in favor of the motion will raise their hands and or say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? None appearing. The motion carries with 4 voting in favor, none opposed, no abstentions. And I believe that covers all of the business before the Commission today. Am I correct in that regard? Yes. All right. So is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Pietsu.
Second, Berquist.
Moved and seconded. Next regular meeting of the Commission will be on April 8 at 9:30 a.m. Those in favor of the motion to adjourn will raise their hands and or say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? None appearing. The motion carries and we stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.